everyone. This is Wilson Cole. I'm president of Adams, Evans, and Ross and Backdoor Hiring Solutions, and I am joined by my daughter and staff attorney, Samantha Vincent. How are you doing, Samantha?
Doing great. How about yourself?
Doing fine, doing fine. I want to talk about a case on a backdoor hire where their argument was a little unique. It was kind of stupid, but there again, it's that attorneys are trying to find all the gray they can. We were able to get it resolved. You had a great argument, but there may be one step that you want to take just to keep this argument from coming up, because it's not a case of black or white. As I've said millions of times, that debtor's attorney's job is to create gray and some doubt on why this bill would be owed. But let me kind of set up the scenario, and we always say use your own agreement. But let's assume that you're going to deal with a company and you have to sign their agreement. So you sign their agreement and you start the search and you don't get paid. Sam, I'll let you pick it up from here. Not only did they not get paid, we found out through the software that it was a backdoor hire. They come in for collections and they say...
Well, it was the flip side. It was the recruiter's agreement that the recruiter had sent over to the hiring company. They signed it. The recruiter never sent a signed copy, a countersigned copy back. So I say, always get a signed contract. This recruiter got a signed contract, but their agreement had hiring company signature block, recruiter signature block. They go through, present candidates, candidate gets hired. Debtor's attorney then comes back and goes, well, we never received a countersigned agreement, so therefore we aren't bound by the terms of this agreement. Okay,
so our client got their signed agreement, but they didn't sign their own agreement and send it back to them.
Correct.
Okay, so that
there were no changes. It's not like when the hiring company got it, they, scratched through, 90 days and put 120, or there were no
changes.
The signature at the bottom. And they wanted to argue that since it wasn't countersigned, they don't know that the recruiter truly agreed to the terms.
Now, the flip side of that is after our client got the agreement, they started sending resumes over and started doing the recruiter thing. So their actions clearly showed. And as bizarre as it sounds, if you got an agreement that requires your signature, go ahead and sign it and send it back over to them on an email. Just eliminate that excuse.
Sign it before you send it over to them.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Go ahead, and the one you have on your desk, e-sign it.
To where it's your signature is perpetually there.
Yes.
But make sure, and I can't stress enough, and we've had this discussion and we do videos all over the place of, you want a signed agreement. Yes, we can collect without a signed. I had one today where we talked about you don't have to have a signed agreement for us to collect, but it's always better to have a signed agreement. So Samantha, on that countersigned agreement, I was amused at your argument that got it resolved. So if our clients ever run into this issue and they say, gee, you didn't sign your own agreement, we don't owe, the argument that you used was?
When was the last time you got a countersigned agreement back from another service provider or your credit card company? Because think about all of the terms and conditions that you get, whether it be your internet company, whether it be your power company, whether it be
or Visa or MasterCard or American Express.
Things along those lines that you never get the countersigned copy back. It was their terms and conditions you agreed to. You didn't try to change any of these terms and conditions. You signed it. It was done.
And so arguing that they didn't get them back.
It's a very moot point.
Yeah. But like I said, as the economy goes through phases and, there's good times, there's bad times. During recessions and slowdowns, the excuses always become a little bit more creative. But I can tell you, if an attorney tells you something, and keep in mind, this was an attorney that was making this argument, they were blowing smoke. And he was not only, because we'll see that where an attorney will make this ludicrous argument to a client to where the client thinks, well, they're an attorney, so they must know what they're talking about. I'm always shocked when an attorney will make a horrible agreement or a horrible argument to another attorney that can say, nope, here, and here, and here. So the takeaway is, if you've got a two-place signature, go ahead and sign it and send it over. Secondly, though, is if an attorney tells you, well, we're not going to pay you, and here's the reason why, don't argue with them, because our client didn't argue with them. They got us involved immediately, and we were able to frame it and get it resolved. Had our client acknowledged the fact that they didn't sign it and said, well, I didn't sign it, But, if they start putting in these, but, maybe I thought this or that, they just, the more you talk, the more you can dig your hole in. So if somebody says they're not going to pay you, and especially if it's their attorney, stop talking to them. Get us involved, get your local attorney involved. I'd be curious on this video if you'll go ahead and in the comment sections, put in there what's the dumbest argument that you've ever been told by an attorney on why they're not going to pay, or by the debtor. Also, make sure you like and subscribe so you get notified of new content. If you'd like to look for backdoor hires, go over to, of course, backdoorhires.com. If you've got a specific issue that you'd like to talk about with Samantha or I, you can go to our website, staffingdebt.com, book an appointment, and we'd love to see you. Sam, any parting thoughts, or do you think we have it covered?
I think that covers it.
Thank you, guys. Till next week.